Have you ever just ridden a roller coaster that you just absolutely hated and you just immediately knew it was going to be your least favorite roller coaster after you got off? I'm going to be talking about some of the different roller coasters that you guys have ridden and you said are some of the worst. And at the end, I'm going to talk about my least favorite roller coasters in the world. And let's get into it. I'm going to start off, we're going to rank them as we go. So, at the number 4 spot is Togo. And the ride in question was submitted by Single Rider C. And he stated, roller coaster at Hanayashika, I hope I pronounced that right, isn't great. I just haven't ridden many bad rides. It's just too short. So, I believe roller coaster at Hanayashika is the oldest roller coaster in Japan and Asia, I believe. And it seems like a glorified kiddie coaster. It just doesn't seem very forceful, and like you said, it's just too short. And if it wasn't for it being the oldest roller coaster in Japan, I don't think many people would be going out of their way to ride it. Alright, so that was Togo. And now we're moving on to the number 3 spot. And this is Zamperla. And this is where this list gets really bad with some really trash rides. This roller coaster is submitted by Thuzy25. Time warp, no question. That's all he said. If you don't know what type of ride time warp is, it's a Volare. Volares are Zamperla's attempt at a flying coaster, and they sucked at flying coasters. They just were terrible at making them. Just janky transitions, horrible restraints. Combine all of that, and you get a terrible ride that is now gone from Canada's Wonderland. Moving on to number 2. And this is Arrow. And this is the first time we've had 2 entries that have said Arrow, an Arrow coaster. And the first one is just going to be Kings Island Nerds said Corkscrew, just Corkscrew. And I asked him which Corkscrew, because there's like a bunch around the world. And he specifically said the one at Cedar Point. It's very innovative by Arrow to make that coaster and for Cedar Point to request it. It was the first roller coaster to go upside down 3 times, but of course, with any Arrow from that time period where we haven't even broken the 5 inversion mark, it's going to have a lot of janky transitions, and janky transitions suck. The only janky transitions that people like are not that many. No one likes them. Unless they give forces. But the second one is a bit longer. Actually, a lot longer. Of a reason. And it's submitted by Cinna Coasters. And he said, hot take. I despise Carolina Cyclone at Carowinds. I don't know why it's so bad. Maybe I just got an unlucky ride, but it's absolutely brutal. Okay, so it sounds like he's saying this is a hot take for some reason. I've never heard anyone say Carolina Cyclone is actually a good ride or a great ride or they liked it. They all kind of just said, got the credit, one and done, boring. I think it held the record for the most inversions for a little while. I think it has 4 or 5. It's 4 or 5. But once again, Arrow with janky transitions. At it again. It sucks. I mean, I haven't ridden in, but I've seen POVs. It just doesn't look like fun, and it probably is rough from what it sounds like. Moving on to the first place spot, and I feel like all of us could have expected this. It's Vekoma with 3 entries. The first one we're going to be going through is actually one of the same model at 2 different parks. So, the first one is from Slim Fury, and he said, Kitty Hawk, a Vekoma Hanging Bang. And pretty well said. It has trash restraints, and it's an old Vekoma. Point Coasters also stated, Woodstock's Aerial at Kings Island. It starts off pretty fun, honestly, but then the second half hits. Keep in mind, I was doing the Turtle Strat and still got head banging. Pain. Well, I think Point Coaster stated it pretty well there. It's just pain. Who knew a ride that probably only goes 30 miles an hour could be so terrible? But it all comes down to restraints and transitions. And it was old Vekoma. So. And then our final coaster before I get into my least favorite coasters is from Jack Hansen 5419. Kong at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. My first SLC. It was absolutely atrocious. I've never banged my head so bad on a roller coaster like I did on Kong. The tracking is just so bad. If they ever planned on removing it, I want to control the wrecking ball. I started a bit there guys, I'm sorry. I think I heard my mom say something to me. I don't know. But, as Jack Hansen said, Kong, Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, SLC, I've heard it's terrible, like you said. It tracked so bad. And he wants to wreck it with a wrecking ball whenever they plan on removing it. So, there you go. That was the list from you guys. 4 manufacturers. 4 of the most despised manufacturers, probably. There's only 2 on here that have probably been able to make a turnaround. Really only 1, and that's Vekoma. Arrow and Togo have both gone out of business. Zamperla kind of messed up with Top Flip 2 at first, but then they kind of turned it around, and I've heard the ride is pretty great. Vekoma, popping off with smooth rides after another. Great rides. Friend, Good Gravy, and Rookie Racer. 2 of the smoothest rides I've ever been on. And I've heard countless other stories about how New Vekoma is just incredibly smooth. Now, time to get on to my least favorite roller coasters. Kicking it off at the number 3 spot for me is Holodog's roller coaster at Hollywood World. Hollywood World's kiddie coaster. This thing is terrible. It made 5-year-old me cry because of how rough it was. And because of that roller coaster, I didn't ride another roller coaster for 6 years. A bit of lore about me. That makes me sad, because I feel like if I would have ridden Good Gravy that day, even though Gravy didn't exist, I may have given Raven a shot, or Legend a shot, or heck, maybe even Voyage. But, that tragic day, I rode that ride. Holodog. Holodog, please just get a better roller coaster. Like, it's just so bad and janky. Like, Holiday World, just put in a better roller coaster for kids. You're literally making kids come off crying because it's janky. But anyway, on to the number 2 spot, and I have to put in The Boss. This thing is boring. It's rough. And quite frankly, I feel like I'd have more fun riding around in a shopping cart. I just don't really understand why people would say they like it. I mean, there's a mid-course brake line that takes away all your steam and makes the rest of the layout suck. And it's rough. Thankfully, they're putting Titan Track on it. And I'm hoping that makes it really good. Maybe not really good, but just good. Enough for me to ride it. More than once. Well, time for the last one. And that is a roller coaster that's combined from 2 manufacturers on the list that you guys gave me. And it's from Vekoma and Arrow, and it's a weird little hybrid that was at the World's Fair, and it got shipped to Six Flags St. Louis, soon to be Mid-America by Enchanted. Sounded like a dang hotel. And it's Ninja. This ride, if somebody told me that it was being taken out, I would want to personally watch it get destroyed, and all the track be burnt and put into a giant scrap metal area, and be melted and turned into a garbage can. Because I feel like it would be more useful than what Ninja is in its state right now. It's just so bad. It's janky, rough, terrible transitions, boring, all of the above. Almost anything that I mentioned throughout this video, that's pretty much what this roller coaster is. It's the epitome of a trash ride. It belongs in the dumpster. And one day, I hope Enchanted Parks will tear it down and put in a wonderful, smooth Vekoma coaster. Or something. Just something. Anything other than Ninja. Heck, I would take a Dippin' Dot stand over Ninja. I feel like the Dippin' Dot stand would be more useful. Anyway, thanks for listening to my rant about my least favorite roller coasters. Thank you, of course, for watching this video. And if you stayed to the end of this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And remember, have a great day.